Energy Media readers, we've done a couple of videos already with Dr. Joe Vipon, who's a Calgary ER physician, about the need for masks, why they're useful in the COVID-19 pandemic. But now we're going to talk to somebody who is involved with a group that is making masks, homemade masks, cloth masks. They are the Mask Makers YYC, and I'd like to welcome Fuyo Watanabe to the interview. Now, Fuyo, maybe just give me, explain why your group, how your group organized, and what it is that you're doing.
So I was first approached by two doctor friends on Facebook, and they kind of put out a call and said, does anybody sew? And I said, oh yeah, I sew. What do you guys need? And they said, we need some masks. And they said, we need a lot. And I said, okay, so do you guys have a Facebook group that I can join and, get, all the information? And they said, we don't have a Facebook group. We have one. So, being a gullible sort of person that I am, I said, sure, why not? And so I started this group. On the first day, we had over 200 people join. I think a lot of people have been watching the news around the world, and we're sort of waiting to see, okay, when is this going to hit us? And so people jumped on right away. By the second day, we had a group of admins in place. Lots of people stepped up and said they wanted to help with certain parts of the organizing and the keeping all the volunteers going. And so right now we've got a team of admins. We've got logistics people. We have an IT department. There's a lot of moving pieces here. Right now we're looking at over 5,600 requests for masks just in the city right now. So there's a lot of demand, and we've been able to fulfill over 2,000 of them.
Well, that's amazing, and it's just as amazing that you've been able to put together this organization in such a short period of time. When did you start organizing?
We started on March 23rd, so I think we're on week 3. And our first week, we did not have a lot of output, so we were getting organized. We were figuring out who was going to do what, and so I would say our first week we had 0 masks come in. And then our second week, we had 1,000 masks come in, and our third week, we had 1,000 masks again. We are currently running pretty much on like 100% on donations. So this is all the crafters emptying out their fabric stashes of fabrics that they've been collecting for years, all of their own machines, their thread, their needles, and their fabric. And so now, within the last week, we've aligned with a charity who's willing to let us use their donation platform. So anybody can go on their site. If you put masks in as the message, then they'll issue you a tax receipt because they're a registered charity. We are not. We've been in existence for 21 days. And I've heard it takes a really long time to get registered charity status. So we don't have that, but we've had a charity step up and say, we're gonna do this for you. And then they will direct the money towards fabric purchases. We've been lucky that so many people have been generous and making these masks completely out of their own supplies. But now we're getting to the point where we will purchase fabric. We've got some deals with wholesalers. We will get the fabric out to the people sewing. We've got drivers who are driving around. We've got Fishman's Dry Cleaners, which is a local dry cleaner in Calgary. They've offered to be the donation collection spot for fabric donations, but also they're going to wash and pre-shrink. So all the cotton fabric that we use for our masks has to be washed and pre-shrunk and then ironed and then cut. And so they're going to take a bunch of that workload off so the people who are sewing can just stick to sewing.
Well, this is fantastic. It sounds like a real community effort. What's the domain or the URL of the organization where people can donate?
They are called Dress for Success Calgary. They are an organization that generally helps underserved women rejoin the workforce. They help them find a business professional outfits and clothing, and they give them a bit of a makeover so that it becomes easier for them to get back into the workforce. And they said, this is right up our alley. It's fabric related, so but they were very happy to help us out. And I don't actually have the URL. If I could give you that at the end of the interview, I'd really appreciate that.
Well, problem. So tell me a little bit about the folks who are actually doing the sewing. So this is crafters in Calgary who just got together. How many of them? How many of you are there? and maybe tell me a story or two about the folks who are doing this.
Sure. So our Facebook group right now has over 4,000 members. Not everybody is sewing. We do insist you join the group if you want to order, because we need a little bit of validation that you're a real person, that you're not taking these off and selling them and that sort of thing. So there are 4,000 people in our group. I would say probably 300 or so are actually the ones that are actually creating the masks. We have everything from the beginner who went out to buy a machine from Walmart to get started, to the ladies that have been crafting and sewing for 50 years. One of my favorites is this lady, Diane. She told me, oh, you know, I'm 75 years old, Fuyo. I'm not sure if I can really keep this up. She drops off 100, 125 masks at a time. And she donates. She's got tons of fabric in her basement. She donates. She's so giving. We've had other ladies who run small businesses, quilting shops, donating tons of fabric. One in particular has given us over 100 meters of fabric, and that's quite a large cost to her, but she's been willing to help us out with that. So everybody's coming together. We've had some smaller sort of workrooms come on, so like a team of professional seamstresses who produce amazing things. But it really runs the gamut from someone who says, you know, I don't know which end of the needle is up.
Gotcha. Now, this will be the last question. Let's say that somebody wants to donate some old clothing or some cloth to you. What can they donate? And I guess they can donate it and they can drop it off at Fishman's dry cleaning store? Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of...
Fishman's has 2 locations open right now. They've had, unfortunately, on the rest of their locations. They are collecting fabric for us on their 17th Avenue location and in Marda Loop. And what we're asking for is 100% tightly woven cotton, between a lightweight to a medium weight quilter's cotton. Now, we get a lot of people asking, can I donate used things? And we are staying away from used fabric for now because it's often difficult to determine the composition of the fabric. So whether it's 100% or if it's got some polyester blend in it, it's really hard for us to tell. So we would rather stick with 100% cotton fabric off a bolt if you've got bolts of fabric. And then also used clothing becomes threadbare, and we really need to ensure that we've got the highest quality of weave to try and give you the most protection possible. So, you know, we love upcycling. We love the idea of reusing. We are taking donations of cotton t-shirts. So if anybody has a box of promo t-shirts that never got given away for a fun run, or it has, you know, an old year on it and then you can't use them anymore, we love those t-shirts. We cut those up to make the ties. So the ties that go around the mask to tie it to your head, they make a super quick and fast tie. We just cut them out of the t-shirt. We've got people who are only making ties. We've got people who are only making the wire that goes in the nose. We've got a big assembly line process going. It's highly efficient. We keep track of everything. We track materials. We track the masks. We have numbers on everything. So if anybody's worried that they're donating and they're concerned that, you know, oh, I don't want to give my money to an organization that I'm not sure where things are going, like we keep track, we honor the donations that we get in. We make sure they're used for the purpose they're supposed to be used for. We're doing our best to try and crank out enough masks to get a mask on every face that needs one.
That's amazing work, and I commend everybody who's involved in your organization. Kudos to you, and I hope you know that I know you're doing great work. Good luck, and if we can do anything here at Energy Media in the future to help promote what you're doing, please get in touch with us again, and thank you very much.
That's great. Thanks so much.